Hi, I've had the need now to make a vlog about my daughter Betty. She was born back in 2006 and we knew before she was born she was going to have a lot of issues. So when she was born, she had her first heart surgery when she was about 11 days old, and she stayed in hospital for about 4 months. And in that 4 months, the list of things that were problematic for her grew. And one of the things that was on that list was she was deaf, or she had a moderate to severe hearing loss. To our surprise at the time, no one was really that concerned about the hearing loss, or she had a lot of very critical issues that needed immediate attention. She had a fused skull and she had a heart that required a 3-stage surgery. So with those things in mind, the deafness was always just pushed to the bottom of the list. Even when as she grew and developed and we needed to access therapies, I was always surprised when we were put in touch with different therapists, whether it was at the hospital or through Disability Services Queensland, who we were referred to, why they never really worried about the deafness. And I asked them whether they had experience with the deafness, and they said no. And they didn't feel that that was an issue. But there was always something at the back of my mind niggling, saying that it really should be treated as an issue. So I remember one day I finally found a number and I phoned it, and it was to the Urongpilly ECGP. And I remember I had a chat with one of the speech therapists there, and she was great. She filled us in on what a therapist who's experienced with deafness can do. And one of the examples I still remember to this day was she used the example, I think, of car, cat and cap, and how deaf kids struggle to tell the difference between those words, and how when a therapist is experienced with deafness, how they can help those kids understand the differences. Unfortunately, at the time, I couldn't access that service because my daughter was one of a twin. She had a twin brother, and he had his own set of issues. Unbeknownst to us, having twins can actually be a very risky thing. And in our case, we got 2 kids who thankfully survived the birth, but had their own issues. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you look at it, Betty's twin brother was not deaf. So though Urongpilly could accept my daughter Betty, they couldn't accept her twin brother Ethan. So that forced my hand in that, because I wasn't driving at the time, we didn't have a second car. We just had to stick with what was locally available to us, and unfortunately that meant we had to just settle for people who didn't have the experience with deafness. So I guess the point of my first vlog today is to just encourage parents out there, when they feel the need to have a certain condition recognised about their child, especially if it's the deafness that seems to be overlooked, you're not wrong. It needs to be focused on, and you need to be stubborn in your approach and insist that therapists have a background and have experience with deafness. Thanks, I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you do, give us a thumbs up, and hopefully I can make some more. Look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.